Welcome to Cine Chills. Today we dive into Tale of Tales, a visually stunning dark fantasy filled with magic and twisted fairy tales. With 3 interwoven stories of kings, queens, and mythical creatures, this film takes fairy tales to a whole new level. Get ready for a journey of mystery and unexpected surprises. Let's begin. One day at the beginning of the story, the king suddenly heard the sound of song. He asked outside, "Who is singing with such a beautiful voice? Where have you been hiding all this time? How old are you? 17 or 18? The woman immediately entered the room in shame, and the king immediately thought that the woman was a shy young girl. So he took out the most expensive necklace and hurriedly sent it to be given to him by his guard. He did not know that there were only 2 80-year-old old women in the room. The expensive necklace was hanging around the neck of the elder sister, looking at it in the mirror. Her younger sister said, "Love is not something that can be, sister, but you must tell the king the truth because deceiving the king is a death sentence." However, while the 2 of them were hesitating, the king quickly stood at the door. The younger sister wanted to save their lives and tell the king the truth, but the elder sister stopped her by covering her face with her hand. They had both lived under the stairs all their lives, and the elder sister thought that this was their only chance to live a good life. The king inquired, "Is there anyone inside the house?" Then the elder sister said in a sweet voice, "Oh, Majesty! It is I. Oh, my heart is trembling. I feel weak. I will show you a part of me that reveals my beauty." The king said, "Which part of your body will you show me?" She replied, "Fingers." Hearing the sweet voice, the king immediately thought that she was a young girl, so he agreed to see the beauty. The elder sister's name was Ruahua and the younger sister's name was Xiao. That day, Ruahua, not wanting to miss the opportunity, heated a pot of oil very hot. She even put her wrinkled fingers into the pot of hot oil, then wrapped them tightly with gauze. But when the old woman took off the gauze, she found that her fingers were not only not as pink and tender as she had hoped, but had become even rougher. This made her burst into tears because she was full of confidence. But suddenly there was a knock on the door. The sisters never expected that the king would come an hour earlier to see the beauty of her fingers. When Ruahua was feeling panicked, her eyes suddenly fell on her younger sister's fingers. Her little sister's fingers were beautiful to look at because Shu had to do a lot of work with her fingers every day. Even at the age of 80, her fingers were still as pink as a young girl. So without saying a word, Ruahua forced her little sister's finger through the hole in the door. Even the king was fascinated by the finger. King's mental perversion reached its peak. He started to kiss the finger. Shu saw her finger covered in saliva and started to pull it towards him, but the king held it tightly. King asked her to come to his bed at night. In order to calm the lustful king, Ruahua quickly agreed to his request and asked him to wait for him in the dark of the night. Then, to fulfill the king's wish, Ruahua asked her little sister Shu to glue her loose skin to tighten it, so that she would look hard and firm like a young girl. Then Ruahua hurried to the palace to keep the appointment. The king ordered the guard to extinguish all the candles in the palace. Soon the 2 reached the darkness, where an extraordinary event occurred. However, the curious king secretly lit a candle to see the young girl's true face. It was incredible. King removed the clothes and saw an old woman with wrinkled skin on her face and body. He immediately screamed in fear and called the guards and ordered the dirty old woman to be thrown out of the palace. The guards obeyed the king's order. But fortunately, because of the long branches, the woman was indirectly hanging from the branches and kept swinging. It was a coincidence that the 1,000-year-old witch luckily found her and lowered her down from the tree. The witch went to her, took her in her arms, fed her with her own breast milk, and under the witch's calming influence, Ruahua slowly fell asleep. This time, Ruahua's body began to change. Gradually, the loose skin softened and all the wrinkles on her face disappeared, taking on the appearance of a young girl. One day, the king went out to hunt boars in the forest with a gun. While hunting, the boars were running away quickly. King chased after them, and when he went behind a tree, he froze. He saw a beautiful woman with long hair standing in the middle of the forest, naked and unwanted. In this situation, it was understood that the king took the beautiful girl Ruehua to the royal palace. The next day, the king sent a guard to invite Ruehua's younger sister. The guard knocked on the door. The door opened and Ruehua's younger sister came out, and the guard gave her a dress and a letter and left. She was very happy to receive this and thought that his elder sister had sent it. In the evening, her younger sister appeared at the banquet wearing that dress, and when she saw the beautiful woman next to the king, she was confused. Then the queen took her by the hand and led her into the room. Her younger sister was looking at the beautiful face. Ruehua tried to convince her older sister and told her the whole story. Her younger sister could not believe it. Ruehua said, "I will take care of you and try to give you what you want." Before leaving, Ruehua told her that it was a secret between the two of them and that she should never tell anyone. Ruehua's younger sister was enjoying this beautiful moment. After the feast was over, her younger sister refused to leave. She ran into Ruehua's room and said she couldn't live without her, she wanted to be with her. But Ruehua disrespected her by saying she was too old. Ruehua said no one would believe that we were two sisters. Her younger sister said, "I want to be a beautiful young girl too. How did you become so beautiful?" Ruehua said, "I told you before, I don't know. I don't know anything." Ruehua's youthful beauty made her younger sister jealous. She asked everyone if they could skin her body, although others had warned her that she would die. At this moment, the younger sister was so desperate that she would not listen to anyone's advice. She just wanted to skin her body and become young again. As she passed by the corner, she saw a butcher. The younger sister repeated her request and gave her necklace to the butcher. Two of them went deep into the forest. She was tied to a tree, but she did not look angry at all. She saw the butcher sharpening his knife. Then the butcher walked towards her and started working. Then Ruehua's younger sister staggered towards the palace. She thought herself beautiful, but she did not know that she was only sagging towards death. Meanwhile, Ruehua's skin was aging rapidly. So that the king would not understand, she left quickly, leaving the king speechless. Ruehua, with her head bowed, ran down the stairs and fled the palace. Today's story ends here. If you like it, please subscribe, follow, and support me. See you in the next movie.